Hey everyone, welcome again to my channel. Today I'm taking you with me to another edition of the Spiritual Market hosted by the Witch's House. And this time we're staying close to home because this edition was hosted in Aarschot. But before we get all witchy, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome to Quillscene. My name is Megan. If you like things that have to do with reading, with writing, with books, with my adventures as a writer, that was the word, with geeky things, with magical things, with Wicca, then you're in the right place. Make sure to click on the magical subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell, because on that way you'll always get a notification whenever I upload a new video. But yes, Spiritual Market in Aarschot. Let's go! As promised earlier, like I think a few vlogs back, another edition of the Spiritual Market hosted by the Witch's House. For the ones who don't know what the Witch's House and the Spiritual Markets is, the Witch's House is basically an organization of two incredible women who both have their own witchy Wicca-like store, and they decided to, work together, start their own group, and start with hosting their own spiritual markets around Flanders and maybe one day even the Netherlands. The thing is that every edition they host on a different location, and once they have like a location in a certain city, it gets like put in rotation. Now, when it came to Aarschot, a few months before that, before the event, they had asked their vendors, because we have like this group chat where all the vendors are located in. They had asked, if you know a place where we can host a spiritual market, please tell us, and then we will look into it if it is possible to host a market there. And I had like put forth Aarschot, because I know that there was like a nice event hall there where the market could take place. But also Aarschot has quite a big witch coven. So I thought that, when it came to finding your public, it would also be a nice place to host a spiritual market. And that's how I think, well, it's not like I came up with the idea, but I, posted Aarschot as an ID. And on Sunday, the 15th of September 2024, it happened. Spiritual Market was hosted in the Stadsfeestzaal in Aarschot. And again, organized by the Witch's House, and the market itself, like before, was hosted from noon till around 6 p.m. And we were allowed to come set up from around 10 a.m. Of course, for us, it's kind of like a home match almost, because we do a lot of events in Aarschot. Also, it's close to home. It's like small half hour from where I live. So distance is also very easy. I had a booth together with my mom. I was there with my books, of course. My mom took our magical treasures side of the business, took care of that. So our display potion, bookish goodies, witchy goodies, geeky goodies, stuff like that. But also Mathias and Emmeline were there. Mathias Maho is one of my colleagues when it comes to writing. He writes dark fantasy and he's also part of my writers collective. And Emmeline is by now his wife. And she makes beautiful witchy gothic candles, shaped candles. You will see it in the footage. And they also had signed up to be a vendor. Now the thing is, how the markets of the Witch's House work is that when you're interested in taking part in one of the markets, you can like give up your interest in that market. So it's like not exactly like an that you sign up for a booth, but you sign up to show interest. And once they have like everyone who is interested like together, the organization will like shift between the people who are interested in taking part to, you know, allow to see how many like places they have for vendors, plus also have like a relation in the type of vendors, because at this point there are so many vendors that there are too many vendors for the pots available. So for example, if there are 6 markets and you show interest in 6 markets, you probably will only get picked to be a vendor at 2 of those markets. Why do they do that? Of course, also to give everyone a chance, both old vendors that they already knew as new vendors, to also give a bit of a relation system in their in the products and vendors that they present to the public every time, so that though it's always, you know, a spiritual market hosted by the Witch's House, but it's always different because there are always different products. It's also kind of a way to do quality control, and also to make sure that you don't have like 10 of the same booths, because of course you have a lot of people who draw, you have a lot of people who create their own jewelry, but it's fun to give everyone a chance. But if you like put 5 jewelry stands next to each other, you know, it doesn't give much variety. So that's also why they do so. But yeah, for the market of Aarschot, my mom and I were picked out as a vendor, but also Mathias and Emmeline were picked out as a vendor. And as I said, the entire hall was covered with, was filled with creative witchy booths with gemstones, jewelry, taxidermy, candles, people who gave also tarot readings. That's something that you can expect every spiritual market. And then there was like someone who did like witchy fantasy crochet and so many more things, but that you will see in the footage. as I said, Aarschot is a bit of like a home match for us. Yeah, it's a bit of our comfort zone, if I'm actually honest, because of course you have Mysteria, that's in Aarschot, which is a outdoor fantasy event that we've been doing for years. We have a few creative markets in Aarschot. We have a few secondhand markets that we also did in Aarschot, and this time it was also, you know, spiritual market in Aarschot, which was fun. So yeah, I saw a lot of people among the visitors back that I've met before, because they are from Aarschot and the surrounding areas. So a lot of people that I met, for example, at Mysteria, and bought one of my books and came to buy, then especially came to the spiritual market to buy the next book, or all the other books. So yeah, it was quite fun to, you know, meet up with those people, and also, yeah, sell some books again, sell some potions, sell some witchy goodies. So yeah, it was a very fun event. And of course, we also did some little shopping. First, my mom went around, and the thing about my mom and me is, of course, we are both our own person, but at a lot of things we are also the same. And it's the same thing, that the same bond she had with her mom, so with my grandmother. We have a lot of the same taste in things. And when it comes to fantasy and witchy things, is the same, because the things she bought when she went through the market were things I would have bought myself, if I'm honest. Now, Mom actually did her shopping at one specific booth, with Kiyoshi's Spell and Tarot, if I'm not mistaken, that her shop is called. Kiyoshi is also someone who does tarot readings at the spiritual markets, but next to her tarot reading table, she also has a table that is actually a booth where she sells witchy things, and she also has a store, if I'm not mistaken, in Tiene. And the first thing my mom wanted to buy were these handmade witchy bells. So we have like hanging system, a little pentacle, I don't know if you can see it well, a pentacle charm, a little stone hanging in the thread, and then of course we have a key and the witchy bells. Now, witch bells are meant to be hung at the door, and every time the door opens and closes, the bells will wrinkle, and the ringing of the bells actually chases away bad energy, bad omens, bad ghosts, you know, the bad juju. Fun thing is, this is also like the thing that inspired the all-known winkle store bell. So when you enter a store and you hear the ding or the wrinkle, this was inspiration for it. But yeah, she got this one. This one hangs on the door of my office actually, so that's really fun. And I also love the key. I have this weak spot for like these vintage looking old keys and the skeleton keys, so yeah, that's also a sign of protection in Wicca. And then there was, if I'm not mistaken, it's from Lisa Parker, some fun things with black cats. Of course, I myself have two cats. I have a ginger cat named Flash, and I have a little black cat named Boo. And Kiyoshi had some things with the Lisa Parker black cat line in her booth. So this was the first thing my mom bought. It's actually a little thin, with the same image of the black cat who has like the crystal orb in which a witch flies that was on the wrapper. And this is actually a tin that contains lip balm. If I get it open, yes. So it's a lip balm. It smells amazing. If I'm not mistaken, it's apple. Yeah, it's apple scented. I'm not sure if it's also apple flavored, but it smells like apple, and it's like, you know, those Chupa Chup lollies, the apple ones from those, exact same scent. So yeah, my mom got me that because this was a gift for me, because, you know, me and my cats. And then she also got this, because this one she found too cute to leave alone. She had a few editions of those, but my mom picked the one I'm going to show you. So it's a little bag, and it says Lucky Black Cat on it. And it has a beautiful, like, little image of a cat in a tree, sitting in a tree. And inside you have a small statue of a black cat. And this is your own little lucky black cat. And as I said, there were different editions, so this one is like the one that's sitting, but you also had the ones that were lying on the ground, that were standing, but my mom thought this one was the cutest. This one looks like a crossover between my two cats, because my black cat is like a short hair, and my ginger cat is like this fluffy Norwegian kind of like cat, but then in ginger. So it's kind of a crossover between those two. When I showed this to my brother, he loved that. He loved it too. But he told me that I had to put it in my room to keep it safe, because he was afraid that he would break it or he would lose it. So yeah, a little black cat. Well, a lucky black cat. All black cats are lucky. Well, all cats are lucky, no matter the color. That was what my mom bought. As I said, all things I would buy myself too. And then I was allowed to go around. And actually at the other side of the hall, well, of the room where the event was hosted, from where our booth was, there was this booth called Silky Curiosa. And she made beautiful jewelry, well, witchy, whimsical, fairy-like, yeah, bubbly jewelry, both earrings and necklaces and stuff like that. But I fell in love with a few of her earrings, so I bought a few of those. The first one I picked out were these. They are so cute. So those are star-shaped, kind of like those Soothing Spirits or Spiriting Spirits, how do you call them, from Studio Ghibli. And when I said it, she said, yeah, they are inspired by those. So it's like the black star with the eyes, and then you have like little blue star gems underneath. I love hanging earrings, because with my hair, those you see the best. And of course, when they have fun colors, it's fun. They are pastel colored, the stars, so I figured blue is also one of the colors that is very present in my wardrobe, so it's combinable with everything. It's kind of a little touch of fantasy in your everyday life. This pair costed 15 euros, the price is still on it. She makes the ornaments, so the beads, she makes them herself. So yeah, really cool. So this was the first pair. And then I saw these. These are like little hanging flowers actually, but they are like the flower itself, and then you have like little petals kind of like falling out of them. This one is pink, which is also one of the colors that's heavily present in my daily outfits. And then we stayed on the pink side, because I also liked these flowers. They are a bit like wider than the ones I showed you before. I will put them side by side. So same, only they don't have like the pearls, they have just like metal curled threads hanging, but I thought they were very cute, especially with kind of like the leaves hanging on top. These ones, by the way, the The ones I showed you previously were €9 and these were 11. So yeah, they are cute kind of earrings, especially when it's springtime, summertime. Knowing me, I will wear them whenever I want, no matter the season. But yeah, I like these. So I got those. And that was all the shopping we did at the spiritual market. As I said, another fun edition of the market. It was very fun. It was in Aarschot. It was also very fun that Emmeline and Mathias were there. It was fun to see people we knew, that came to visit us. Also meeting new readers. Also meeting new vendors, because thanks to the relation system, you also, as a vendor, you build up friendships with, of course, vendors that are also present at the events you visit as a vendor. But thanks to the relation system with the spiritual market, you, again, have vendors that you've already known from markets before, being spiritual markets or other events. But there are also like new vendors every time. So yeah, that's always very fun, and I'm already looking forward to the next edition of the spiritual market, because these ones are really fun and the vibe is so cozy, so fun, so chill also. And yeah, it brings a little magic to your everyday life, which is always a big plus if you ask me. And with that, we're already at the end of this video. If you liked it, please feel free to leave a comment down below, or click on the like button, the little thumbs up. Things like that help my channel grow, but also I love hearing your feedback, because that of course also motivates me to make more videos like this. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I see you guys soon for another bookish, magical, probably on the go video. Bye.